All right, so we heard people were looking for us yesterday, and we apologize for not being here. Higher national duty called, and we had to answer. News Central is live in Abuja for the 30th Nigerian Economic Summit group event, and we've been covering it live from 7 a.m. yesterday morning, starting off with the Breakfast Central team, who are live in Abuja. Our coverage continues through to Wednesday, the last day of the summit.
Well, that said, we will jump straight into the stories that are raising some people's blood pressure today. And we're also opening our phone lines to all our viewers, old and new. So it's a special day. Call us on 070-5272-7272. And if you're not able to call, you can join the conversation via social media. We are at News Central TV. We are watching, and we know that you're watching as well. So before we get into our story, I want to ask a question. You know, we're always asking questions here, and it's actually a very simple question. How was the weekend?
Today is...
But since it was an extended weekend.
I know.
On Monday.
It was an extended weekend.
All right. The weekend. Oh, la la.
Oh, boy.
The weekend weekended because I think we're everywhere.
Yeah.
At the weekend, and it was interesting to see because it wasn't something that we planned. It wasn't something that was, you know, orchestrated. So I think that took us unawares, but in a good way because everybody could key into that emotion. Everybody, it's affecting. Even this morning, we had that conversation this morning when one of Mazino came in and said, "Listen, even the rich are crying. You have 3 million sitting somewhere. You think you have money." What did you say again? It just takes...
You're 3 million away from poverty.
No, it is.
That's the conversation that engulfed my entire weekend because people were calling and we're having this conversation and just talking about Nigeria. And, you know, listen, so that was my weekend, actually.
Yours, bless.
So before I talk about my weekend, when she was talking about the clip, I was actually going to say something. Guys, I'm not deaf and dumb. I can talk. It's just the clips that you see. Because unfortunately, it's like every time the clips trend, the time yours was trending, I was just looking at you. And then this one, I was just looking. So I was like, this one, no, this one talks. So I talk, guys. I'm not deaf and dumb, I promise.
In that situation, there were a lot of emotions.
Oh.
I was fighting tears from the beginning of that show, right? It was because I just kept picturing all the people that have called me, all the people that... So for me, it was a lot of internal things going on. Yeah. But then my weekend was great. It's one of those weekends that now I can't remember what happened. It would take time for me to remember. So I think that I didn't really do anything much.
Okay. That was my weekend. Hey! Nigerians, you have come from me.
No, you can't say that.
You have come from me. So my weekend was interesting because we did the show, we had our emotions, we expressed ourselves, and we left. Digital put it up, and a few hours later, it was...
Your phone was blowing up.
My phone started blowing up. And it wasn't just my phone, then they were now calling my husband. Is everything okay at home?
We've never seen her like this.
What do you mean?
Oh, Tolu's the calm one. We've never seen her like this.
Exactly, Tolu's the calm one.
The international people, you know, that outside the shores had to call, you know, like... She's always very calm, eloquent, calm.
My sister was like, "Are you okay?" She called me that someone sent it. I said, I'm fine. Saturday, Sunday, it's been everywhere, and I posted on my WhatsApp like, "Is this what it is to trend? Like the people who chase these things." Yeah. I give it up to you for wanting to put yourself out there consistently. Yeah. Right now, I'm already. Yeah. I already want to go back into sort of my shell because yes, I might be a public. I do a public job. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm a public person. Yeah.
You know, I get what you mean. And sometimes it can be a bit too much. Like it's they just rip the curtain on your privacy and then you're out there.
It's a lot. So you know, my husband has been fielding calls. I have friends who are outside the country. They're like, "Babe, just take it." And then you know, I remember the caller who called and said, "Tolu, take it easy. Don't let Nigeria give you BP." But it's impossible.
No, it's impossible
because if Nigeria is to give me high blood pressure and I go to the hospital now, am I going to find drugs? No, I will use every opportunity because we need to tell this thing. I need to tell the people in power. We need to put it on them, emphasize it to them that things are not easy. People are not finding it easy. And people I haven't spoken to in ages were messaging me and sending me. I'm like, it's fine. I didn't come on the show to be anybody's masthead or anything like that. I spoke from my heart and I spoke what was doing me and I spoke my concerns. And in fact, it seemed to resonate with people. And guys, it hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't.
Like even today, we're going to talk about the fact that they said that the price of eggs may be going
when
to
I saw the stories,
10,000 naira. So I don't want people to think that we're ranting. But people are not able to have the platform that we have. And if we do not use our platform in a responsible manner to continue to speak truth to power, then why do we have this platform?
Exactly.
So we're going to be, unfortunately, talking about Nigeria's issues as it may be, but they are near and dear to us because we go to the same market.
Yes.
I bought fuel again this morning.
No, because
I was getting to half time.
Yes.
I traveled. I went to go and see a friend this weekend. My husband said, it's only because it's that person. If it was anybody else, leave Sulere. Where am I going?
I don't,
guys.
This is the time where you have to think twice before you go anywhere. And even not just going anywhere, you have to think twice before you drive anywhere. Like, can I take a bike here? Would it be faster to just take keke?
Listen, it's all about
cheaper, it's not even
calculation.
faster.
Cheaper.
It's all about calculation now.
Yeah.
I understand the anxiety that when I used to drive, I used to begin to panic when the tank is on half.
Or you just see, or you go to, or you pass a fuel station for some reason, there are just 2 or 3 cars
and you just
outside.
say, let me just stop.
You're like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you start
just
calculating,
stop.
kilo shele.
You say, let me buy now.
I call my husband, I said, guy, go and buy fuel. I'm saying kilo.
Yes, because there's a panic. And we're wired like that in the country. And you feel that even if your fuel tank is on the second gauge, the second line, and you say, well, let me still top it up just because, and in your mind, you're conditioning yourself that I'm not paying as much because I'm just topping up. I'm just topping up. Because that's the fear of it going to a quarter tank.
And then you get hit in the middle and all of a sudden you wake up and there's queues. It's crazy. It's crazy. But before we get into the rest of what is happening in Nigeria, we live in such a fast-paced world and we're connected, or so we think, to the people around us. And I was recently thinking about how many of us don't know how to behave when our phones die outside the house or we run out of data or whatever. And it made me think, if you turned your phone off for a week and you didn't contact anyone, who would come looking for you? Who are the people who say, wait, I've not spoken to this babe in a week. What's going on? This is not like her. This is not Kineka. Do you have people like, I have people, thank God. I'm blessed in friends.
Yes.
Do you have people like that?
That's a very scary question. So I know that for sure my family. Right. I don't have a lot of friends. But then again, it got me thinking that even the people on social media that you think are like your social media friends, that's when you realize that it's just Instagram friendship. Because I see a lot of people, oh, this person, my babe, and then when you don't hear from them, exactly, you just realize that it's social media friendship.
That thing just rubs me off the wrong way. Besties, just screams so fake, and then everybody does that. But what you're saying, you're not far from the truth. Because the truth is, listen.
So that means I'm not telling the truth.
No. It's a nice way of saying, okay.
It's not far.
I'm not far from the truth. That means I'm not far from a lie.
you.
No. Okay, you're telling the truth. In addition to that, buttressing that, I'm saying, come on island and mainland. You have friends who are living on the island, so for them to come and look for you on the mainland, it's a problem. So when you say you're blessed in friends, you are really blessed. Because sometimes that's when you realize, if things like this happen, when you realize who is for you or who is against you.
Not necessarily against you. So I also want to give credit to the fact that life happens to all of us.
Yeah, everybody's going through their own
And at this stage we're dealing with family, older parents. My dad fell over the weekend. If you see, and then carried himself and said he wants to go to Ilorin.
She said it's like, you know,
wait,
it took
that
me a
thing
while.
where
I thought she was just saying it. You said
that thing where you change, where the status, where the relationship with you and your parents change, where you then become the adults, like really the adults in the relationship. My mom called me and they went to the hospital. They couldn't do the x-ray till Monday. That's another thing. Somebody falls on a Friday, you can't do x-ray till Monday. The man is sleeping. I'm like, Ma, hello, please wake him up every hour, talk to him, concussion, everything. Then he says he wants to go and celebrate my uncle's birthday in Ilorin. I called. I don't think I've ever truly raked for my father. I raked for my dad. My husband was there somewhere. I called Reverend Doctor and I said, Daddy, if you get on the road, me and you will fight.
Yes,
I called him.
What did you say?
I said, no, he said, I want to go. I said, Daddy, call Daddy Lauren and tell him what happened. He's not going to have a problem. Yeah. After he said, okay. I heard. Okay. And that's what I knew, because my sister is like, she can't deal with. I knew that relationship where you're now parenting your parents. I said, Daddy, if you get on the road, me and you will have a problem. A joke or so much. That's how I put it. So you see, life is happening. So I think even the one who's asking the question, I think we should be gracious to people that life is happening. If we also don't reach out, how could we justify expecting people to reach out? I always think of my relationships and my friendships as gardens. You weed. You don't just water. You don't just fertilize. You weed. And you look at yourself as to see the actions you may have that may be impeding. So I know if I disappear for a week, I was on the phone with Ruth for 1 hour this morning. Rosemary will look for me.
Yeah.
Kate will look for me. Who else will look for me? My sister-in-law will look for me. So I think, because I'm also feeding those relationships.
Yes.
I think that's the important part.
Because you're also feeding them. Sometimes it's important to, most times, it's important to know the people you have and it's important for
the
them
people
to
who have
know
you.
Yes, yes.
So if they don't hear from you and they say, okay, this is very unlike this person, that's key for them to say, okay. But there's some people that are, someone like Kathy, yeah, she'll be okay. But a week, that's long. I know the kids will come looking for me.
Are you actually okay?
And I think we also need to cancel this thing of the first thing you say when you're chatting someone else is,
you
forgot me.
You forgot me. Yeah.
Because I always say, you know, most times when someone says that, I don't respond immediately. Then I allow them go on. Eventually, they need something. And then when we're done, I'm like, okay, so that means you remembered me because of this, right? That means we're the same thing. So don't start a conversation by you forgot me. You didn't remember as well.
Nigerian. That's a very Nigerian.
Just forget me. Oh, I did where you put me. Stop that.
It's a passive. Yo, principal, say stop that.
Stop that.
It's a passive aggressive move. Anyways, guys, you're watching Jasiri. When we come back from the break, we're going to be looking at the government's decision to replace foreign cartoons. Why am I the one?
Because it could not be me.
We're looking at the federal government's decision to replace foreign cartoons with local ones. And also the uproar about the proposed Bola Ahmed Tinubu Federal University of Languages. Yes, you heard that. Bola Ahmed Tinubu University of Languages. N'est-ce pas? All right, so these conversations happen after this.
All right, welcome back to Jasiri, and don't forget to call us to be part of the conversation via the number on the screen. Now, I know this story will get to Tolu because it's about her favorite agency, guys. It's the NOA. Tolu is always having issues with the NOA, the National Orientation Agency. Now, it appears that Nigeria's federal government is concerned. Of all things to be concerned about, they're concerned about what our children could be learning by watching foreign cartoons, saying that there is increasing adoption of foreign attitudes among Nigerian children, attributed to the exposure to foreign cartoons. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Onilu, represented by NOA Director, disclosed this during the launch of the campaign to promote the national anthem and the National Value Charter, misplaced priority. Apparently, President Bola Tinubu has approved the replacement of foreign cartoons with Nigerian content to promote national values.
All right, so Onilu says, and I quote, "We are worried that Nigeria is giving birth to children with foreign behaviors. We have noticed that our kids learn many foreign attitudes through cartoons from other countries. We are going to replace them with local cartoons that will promote our character and our culture so that those currently shown will be substituted," end of quote. So he said, Nigerians, we have lost our moral compass.
Wow, woo. Now, I'm the details queen, so let me give you some more details. Now, the NOA DG also said that the country's image has been tied to that of kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, fraudsters, and more. Onilu pointed out that there was a need for Nigeria to redefine its identity because right now, no one can define Nigeria's identity. He mentioned our dear past leaders, including Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, saying that with them, Nigeria had a well-defined identity. Who wants to go first?
He should just clap for himself.
Who wants to go first?
I like that he says, I don't even know I'm going already.
You're on the way.
Look at her go.
So I like that he mentioned Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. They had identity. What identity does he have? He that is talking, as in Nigeria. What is his identity, this person talking? But and you are in a position where you occupy, where you are the trappings, voila. The trappings of your office is what is moving your mouth to say these things. I don't know whether sometimes when they say these things, they actually listen to themselves. So, of all that is doing us in the country, it is our foreign attitude that you say we imbibe from foreign cartoons is the problem of Nigeria.
So I think that this is a typical example of the right initiative, but from the wrong mouth. right? And I'm like, don't just calm down, Catherine, calm down.
I want you to land.
Calm down. So recently we heard that Florida was restricting the use of social media, especially from, you know, the underage. That was a great initiative. Because again, if you look at it, Florida is I mean, yes, they're doing well, the economy is doing okay, and also nobody is talking about mismanagement of funds, government siphoning funds and all that. You shall allow me. So the truth is, they are not far from the truth, right? When it comes to influence, I won't lie. And again, it's not just foreign cartoons. Oh my God, you literally looking at me because I'm waiting. Catherine, it's not just foreign. It's not just foreign cartoons. I see a lot of Nigerian cartoons that, you know, are not even appropriate for young people.
Nigeria has cartoons.
Yes. Now we have good animations. Right? So again, I'm going to come back to that. So number one, when it comes to influence, we see a lot of agenda being pumped into what our children are watching these days. That's why you see young Nigerian children now asking, Mommy, can I be a boy or a girl? And we know that most of the things they consume are foreign cartoons, foreign animation, right? Aside that, there's also the part of we are good. Have you seen Nigerian animations?
Yes.
They are fantastic. So if that is
an example.
Yeah, so if that's the idea, let's push Nigerian content. Nigerians are good at animation. I mean, recently there was, what's the title of this Nigerian animation that even went, I think it was, I can't remember where it was shown.
Are you sure it's not Iwaju? That one is with
Disney.
Disney.
No, I don't. Yes, it was. You know, so we have very great animators. We have very great videographers, people that can put these things together. So if that is the idea, it's great. Also, the idea of content consumption being limited, I buy into that. But then again, I feel like it's because of the challenges that we're facing in this country. That's why it comes off as wrong. Okay. But I don't think it's totally wrong.
Okay, so I'm actually with Blessings on this.
I was so scared. I felt like Jojo would bring out cutlass right there and Blessings stand up.
Funny enough,
Get out.
when I saw this story, I'm with Blessings on this, and I'll give some examples. Because she's 9, but so I had a toddler in this era of especially this particular era.
Yes.
Peppa Pig is prime example number 1. Even in the UK, Peppa Pig is a cartoon that parents are warned against. Peppa Pig has a bad attitude. She's insulting and disrespectful to her father in particular. And she's not nice to her siblings, but it's all bants and joke. And you know, we've spoken about the fact that we've heard Nigerian children now who have an accent, but they've never left this country. So if we're listening to them and they're taking the accents from the cartoon, what else do we think they're taking from the cartoon?
Exactly.
So there's an attitude problem. Peppa Pig is not the only one. There are other shows. I banned my child. I told her she couldn't watch Teen Titans. I'll name them. Because I was thinking, what is all this? And then there are destructive ones. There's one that, there's a book. The cartoon is based on a series of books. The boy is very rude. He doesn't clean his room, never listens to his parents. He's always doing creations or scientific experiments, are always blowing things up. I like giving kids space to be creative and everything, but I understand. But I also go back. This, again, is the National Orientation Agency. Maybe there's not enough publicity about the work they're doing, and there's a pick and choose as to what we publicize about their work. But I feel like there are still more things we should have been hearing from NOA, not necessarily under this director and under this administration, but in the past several years. Where has the National Orientation Agency been?
Nowhere.
Where have they been? What are the campaigns they're doing? So you're doing a campaign for cultural, national values, and anthem. Anthem... People will sing it. It's been mandated. We're singing a new national anthem. But when it comes to this issue, the part I also agree with Blessings is it's a good initiative. But again, I just feel like people are not reading the room. When people are hungry, when parents are not even sure if their kids are going to go to school tomorrow, you're talking about the kind of cartoons they watch. And let's not forget, how many Nigerians even have access to these cartoons? More people are probably watching the Nigerian guy on YouTube that was with the young girl many years ago, then they're watching the ones on the streaming or satellite platforms. There's a limited number of families and children who are actually exposed to that. What are the majority of Nigerian children exposed to? Then I also come back to this. In 2024, we are still holding up Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa as our only heroes. Have we not created any heroes between then and now?
That's why I said, if you're holding them up as
are they not tired? Let them rest in peace. Are they not tired?
Let the dead guys. You can be part of the conversation here on Just Siri. Really, our phone lines are open. I will agree to disagree on this, because this thing is, I hear you, but I don't hear you.
I understand that, and I feel like the reason you don't is because of the things that are going on. Aside even the influence, there are a lot of, Catherine, there are a lot of unrealistic. See, Dora the Explorer. Most times when I watch it, I'm like, where is this small girl walking about to?
But that one actually is a teaching cartoon.
Yeah, no, I understand, but again, when it comes to like representing our culture, a parent will not just allow a child to carry a backpack and be walking about with a monkey. I mean, where are you walking to? Come, will you sit down in the house, you know? So a lot of times, and then that's why you see young people, Mommy, you are angry, you carry your box, you are living there. Where are you going to? That's not our culture. You know, so I hear you. I understand you, but again, I feel like it's because of the things that are happening. And the ordinary man on the streets would not hear that. Like, we're not listening to you. The same way the national anthem came and you're expecting us to sing, a lot of people have declined to learn it. They're not saying they won't sing it, but that's why if you go for events, they don't sing it, they play it. They play the instrumental.
And then people are still learning.
Yes,
so
because
the lyrics.
people, and you know, when your mind is fixed on not doing something, you will not do it. And it's not because I don't like the anthem, but it's not just because they don't like the anthem, but because of the situation at hand. So that's why I said it might be a right initiative, but from the wrong mouth.
You see, for me, why I say I take the stance that I take, that this is just pure nonsense, whether it's wrong place, wrong time, is that we are still struggling with cool things like education, health. We're talking patient safety week. We're talking about everything that we go through. Is this in the midst of the chaos?
In the beginning.
What is our problem in this country?
But don't forget, agencies have remits. They have their areas
Let us
of
move.
expertise.
We will not this conversation.
No, we can't move. Because there's still something. He said that our country... Okay, what did he say? Yes. He said that our country's image has been tied to that of kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, fraudsters. Please, why did he not mention bad politicians? Exactly. That steal money. And that's still the people's commonwealth. It's not just about the people, because I think about it all the time. I can teach my daughter as much as I want to teach her at home, but if I'm going outside and she's seeing a man standing outside and peeing in public and she's saying, Mommy, why do you tell me? And I say, because it's not the right thing. She'll ask me, is that man, he's not doing the right thing.
Exactly.
We want to inculcate the right thing in our children, but when they step outside of our houses, they're meeting a society that is broken. And they're meeting a society whose moral compass is spinning. Have you seen a compass when it loses its magnetic pole and it's just doing like this?
Yeah, but it's not today that the moral compass has been spinning.
Okay, so is it not today we should start? Is today not better than starting tomorrow?
So another reason I understand what Catherine is saying is we're focusing on the wrong thing. The cartoons are like 1% of our entire problem. You are in power, and look at what you're doing. Is this what we should be learning from?
You are not.
So you know, Catherine, we're talking in the makeup studio, and then Mazino was asking that if there's that one thing that our problem is, what would it be? And I said, just remove the benefit from power, and then you will see a lot of people, we will actually stop fighting for it.
Strip it.
Yes.
We came to
the way NGOs operate, the way volunteers operate, that's how people in power should be operating.
Let's see who will go to the cookie jar when there's actually nothing in the cookie jar.
Again, is it you that we should be learning from? We're not learning from
that's the thing, because yes, some people will tell you that adults, we are wasted energy. We are set in our ways. We're not going to change. Let's focus on the next generation and get them to correct course. But we also need to look at who the national heroes are, who the national influences are, who the national representations of what it means to be a Nigerian are. And that's an issue we have. Because as much as you might tell me my child is watching this cartoon, when I'm in my personal space and I don't think my child is listening, and I'm denigrating another tribe, and I'm talking badly about another set of people, you don't think that my child is also not going to pick up that influence? So there's also a cultural shift, a mindset shift as parents who are bringing up the next generation. But we need the help once we step outside of the house for our society to reinforce those morals and values you're saying we lost.
If we're not even looking at being stringent with access to social media on its own, this cannot work without that.
That's the point.
So if we're not looking at, anybody can go on social media. We talked about it. Your parents are busy giving, Chinedu, come and take this phone, please, and leave me in peace. And you go on YouTube and put something on and the child calms down. If you cannot restrict that, everyone is being influenced, and whether we like it or not, interestingly, nowadays we're living in a global village. Now there's no distance anymore. pen paling has become social media. So
DMs.
that everybody, you can have a friend in Uzbekistan, you can have a friend in Poland, you can have a friend in Antarctica, and vous êtes bien, you're okay. And you ask yourself why. That's the magic of social media. So people get lost on it instead of regulating that before we decide to regulate what our children are consuming. So I'm saying that this is, I don't want to know, Baba, this is not what we need now, please.
Let's take some reactions because we're not the only ones who have a lot to say on this particular matter. Nigerians have also reacted to the news as well. Somebody said, this is Okunwa UUA. After we watch the cartoons teaching us values, then the political class and others will teach us how not to have values. Which one do you think has more influence, make-believe or reality? The FG should preach what they want, should practice what they want to preach. How do you pronounce this? I actually tried to pronounce that as a word. I'm so sorry. All right. At Oga Mayor says, this is the best policy and the government should go further to make laws that will protect our culture and our values. Kudos to those behind the decision. Because don't forget, this is the impact of globalization. And we are a country that seemingly takes a lot from the outside, struggling to keep what is our own. Okay, at Indibe Simon says, yet they can't replace trips to foreign hospitals. Ouch. That's a point. He say points there. He say point. What values? Stealing, looting of public funds, unprecedented corruption. We they overestimate ourselves. So they say that the DGNOA says that the president has already approved. So the next thing we need to see is how this policy is going to be implemented. I also worry about the fact that you want to completely replace. What if that's not my flavor? I'm a parent. I should be in position to choose what my child wants. But yet you can have a campaign that encourages me about what they should watch and everything.
You know what also bothers me? The whatever it is they're doing is they're replacing cartoons with Nigerian content. Nowhere there did they say they're going to empower animators in Nigeria.
No, it might be part of the policy that we haven't heard. Let's hold out hope. Don't worry.
I'm waiting to hear it.
We know.
I'm waiting to hear that. Let's see.
We
will be here.
So now, before we, okay.
Yes, we have to go.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
We shall go and come back.
I laugh a lot. Welcome back to Jasiri. We're live on all our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV. Our phone lines are open. Please feel free to call in and share your thoughts on the stories that we're sharing with you today.
So Catherine wanted to move on, but I refused because this issue of foreign cartoons and foreign and influence is a very deep and important one. And you were sharing about what your friend told you.
Listen, I mean, so my friend had a daughter in school. We don't want to, a popular school here in Lagos. And she comes from school, we're talking about homework, assignments, and some children don't breathe from school to lesson teacher, from lesson teacher to eating and then showering and then going to bed. So it's a whole strict routine for children. Now, my friend's daughter is part of it, and she comes home and she's doing her homework, and the mom is helping her. What is this? Oh, it's a snack. Catherine says it's a what? You say it's a snack. Kamala, what do you mean by it's a snack? Catherine said, I've died. Catherine, I'm sending these girls to one of the prestigious schools in Lagos. It's not as if I said I'm going anyhow school. What is a snack? And starts proceeding to call her husband and say, please help me with this. Kami says, no, but my teacher says it's a snack. She said it's not a snack. So it's the frustration. It's not a snack. So we are struggling, guys, with spoken English, with written English. It is a struggle.
It's a struggle.
You see? I can't forget that because she literally was having a heart attack.
Because they're working hard and paying a lot of money at this particular school in Lagos.
Yes.
They're not paying cheap.
No.
And
what is this? It's a snack. He said, no, it's a what? Say it's a snack.
But then
Camilla, he said, what?
I mean,
Mommy, it's a snack.
If you look at it, if we're trying to promote more Nigerian content, it means that we're going to have more Nigerian educators, not necessarily teachers, but people who, and you know,
they're going to be in a position of influence.
Yeah, so you know they say aloud there. So imagine someone say, hi, I'm coming. Repeat after me, hi, I'm coming. You will hear that a lot. So we should brace up for that because
we want to see. No, in all honesty, I want to see the policy. I want to see how that happens.
So
because we have a local content policy. Remember when we were on radio? We have a local content policy about the amount of music, local music and foreign music that radio stations are supposed to play. And a lot of people point to that policy and say it's one of the policies that helped us refocus ourselves and also helped the local music industry grow. I want to see what this policy looks like. I want to see what the numbers look like. And I also want to hear what the streaming platforms are going to say. When I say streaming, I mean the OTT, over the direct-to-home streaming platforms, because if you're replacing it, a lot of the shows on these channels are paid for. They're paid to be placed, or they're some kind of collaboration. What's the conversation with those people? How are you replacing it? Are you going to make a law that says they have to carry it? If they don't carry it, are there sanctions? I think it's more than just saying, yes, we want to replace these cartoons. There's a lot involved in this replacement. And are you going to make adequate cartoons? Are we going to see cartoons in every single language? Are we going to see cartoons in Pidgin? What is going to be acceptable as being representative of Nigeria? What about values and culture? They don't always give us cartoons in village setting. We need to modernize. If you're saying that you want these cartoons to do something, what is the aim that they're there in place for? There's a lot missing, and we hope that in the next few weeks before this kicks off, we don't know if there's a kickoff date, that the blanks are filled in.
No, they won't be filled in. I can say for free, but we'll wait and see, because otherwise we'll be served and tales by moonlight. But it's all right. Let's move on to the next story. I want to laugh, but I know that, you know, Tolu is still in recovery from the weekend, so let me just face my phones. Ladies, remember all the conversations that we've had about education financing in Nigeria, the rise in private tertiary institutions, the issues that ASU has had in getting government to uphold promises it made in the 2009 agreement. Well, someone in government must be listening, because there may be a new university on the way. This one is focused on on studying Nigerian languages. May sound right up my alley, because
you're the polyglots.
Exactly.
Well, now this university will be a special one because it will be named after Nigeria's current commander-in-chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yep, you heard right. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, and 8 others have put forward a bill to establish the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Federal University of Nigerian Languages.
And that's not all. The bill is also expected to be listed for a second reading in the weeks ahead in preparation for a public hearing to garner stakeholders' input. Now, Benjamin Kalu began his political career in 2002 when he contested for a House of Representatives primaries. He's been a local government chairman and worked with former Abia Governor Orji Uzo Kalu. He has also served as the national why am I laughing? He has also served as the national chapter president of the People's Democratic Party in diaspora. Now, in 2011 and 2015, he contested for the House of Reps under the Progressive People's Alliance, but lost both times. He ran under the APC in 2019 and won the seat to represent Bende Federal Constituency. Now, while the election results were contested, the appeal court upheld Kalu's election. He was re-elected in 2023, and he is currently the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nigeria. His role in the 10th Assembly include Chairman of the Constitution Review and Amendment Committee.
So I think it was important to look at his political antecedents, because you're putting forth a bill at this kind of time. But in addition to that, let's talk a little bit more about the university. It is expected to be located in Abia State and aims to promote the study and use of Nigerian languages and culture for national development. The institution will offer academic and professional programs, including diplomas, degrees, and postgraduate research with a focus on Nigerian languages and cultures. And off the top, ladies, it's not bad. You know, we just came from a conversation, which, interesting enough, for me, these conversations are linked. And there's a conversation to be had about preserving and promoting our cultures. There are children in this country who cannot speak their mother's tongue, you know. You'll see them. You'll see them.
Who told you?
Which one do you speak?
She's spoken one on...
She barely speaks Yoruba. You barely speak Yoruba too.
I speak Yoruba. I can speak Yoruba very well.
Okay, let me continue. Now, I think 2 or 3 things can be true at the same time, which is that Nigeria has an issue with giving up too much of... Nigerians have an issue with giving up too much of our culture to be globalized by others. But there's also some statistics on this. Now, Nigeria is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world with over 500 languages spoken. In 2020, the UNESCO Interactive Atlas of the World's Languages in Danger said about 29 local Nigerian languages were also endangered. So there's a conversation to be had about preserving our languages and culture. There's a conversation to be had about the fact that we need more universities because we don't have enough universities to service, I think they says by 2 million, I'd be 2.5 million people going to university every year. There's that conversation, but there's also a conversation to be had once again about the failure of our leaders to read the room.
All right, so we have Pat from Lagos, I think. We have a caller, Pat from Lagos. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Great, fine, thank you.
Sorry, I want to speak on the Tinubu's new university. I don't know if whatever.
Okay.
So I don't understand. Is it that these people, they are being us as a joke in this country? Because we have a lot of universities, the lecturers that are trying that they're not even being paid yet. They're going on strike almost every sector of school, and yet they're opening another university of Tinubu, whatever. What is it? What's so special about it? Because we have a lot of persons in Nigeria that are affected. And then they're talking about opening a school on our president's name. I don't understand. Did we tell him that the school we have is not enough for our children to attend? People are hungry. At the end of the day, how would a hungry person go to school? People don't even have money to feed themselves, and then they're talking about opening a school. Is the school our priority? Is that what we should be talking about, or how to attend to people's needs? If anybody is seeing an opportunity to leave this country, they should, and they better do, because this country is going to get messed up in very soon. Just being honest, because they are putting their priority on something that doesn't even worth it, instead of the citizens they're supposed to be.
All right, thank you so much, Pat. I mean, from what she said, right, what she said made a lot of sense, because for me, the way I see it, and don't come for me, but this is like another opportunity to just spend money. We have universities. If you really want to promote the culture, right, start from the universities that exist, add it to the curriculum.
ASU is threatening another strike.
That's exactly a whole different conversation. Is it the universities that don't exist? I mean, they exist, but we understand that they're not even there because every moment they can just go on strike. But at the end of the day, even if you really, really want to promote, you don't have to name another university after the president in a state. I don't even understand how Abia State came into the picture. But if you really want to, I mean, when we were in school, we were learning French language, Spanish, different. No, we didn't learn Spanish. But you get. So if that's what you really want to do, add it to the school curriculum. You can even say, okay, this school, you people must speak only Yoruba. This one, you people must speak only Hausa. You know, just you can play around the ones that already exist. That's if ASU doesn't strike. You don't have to start a whole different university.
A whole new university.
A whole new university for that.
Do you know how much money is going to go into that?
We're still struggling with our history being written, history being taken as a subject in school. We're struggling with that. There's no history anymore. In our time, we had social studies. Yeah. There's no history. The history that, you know, our kids used to was the history of Mansa Musa and the history of Mali and Côte d'Ivoire and Ghanaian Empire. Then there's no history about Nigeria. Now you're talking languages. We have so many languages in this country. Which school can boast in Abia State that they learn Hausa? Hausa is part of their curriculum. Before, there used to be an option of Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba.
Yes, a language other than your own.
And then there was now a dearth of teachers. Oh, there are no Hausa teachers. Oh, there are no Igbo teachers. There are no Yoruba teachers. But now it's as if everything has gone into extinction. You see, University of we have so many universities, like Blessing said. Can you just add it to
they're still not enough.
Exactly, and they're not enough. And you're saying that you're going out to, as far as I'm concerned, if you ask me, I think Baba Imo, Abia State, is trying to just curry favor. And you know how you just suck up to an eye servicing and want to, if you leave all the politicians, they would want to do something to commemorate or to celebrate the Nigeria's president.
And for you to even want to start another university, you have to make sure the existing ones have a level of stability, because what's the guarantee that the one you're starting is going to stand for long?
Yeah. I mean,
I think so. Catherine landed on part of where my issue is in terms of, okay, you want the Federal University of Languages. Why are you naming it after the president? Because there's also a conversation to be had is the president a patron of education?
Yeah, well,
we're expecting the president, I think, semi-first I think we have a caller. Let's take that call and then I'll finish my thoughts. Hello, caller. Welcome. Thank you so much for calling us.
Bamidele, I think.
Good morning, beautiful ladies of that series.
Good morning, Bamidele.
Okay, concerning the issue regarding naming or creating a university for the president, I don't see any necessity for that because the hardship in the country, the reps, Senate, they are not taking it serious. For them to be thinking of passing a bill to create universities. There are issues surrounding the ASU strike in our present universities. It has not been stopped. So what's the necessity for creating another one? And they are thinking of bringing language and everything. We have some language courses in the university. They can restructure it and make it more reasonable for people to study it. So the necessity of them passing the bill is not even at the right time. And the president has not even done anything reasonable to deserve that. So that's my take on that.
Thank you so much, Bamidele. And so he supports what Blessings is saying. Restructure and emphasize in our laws that be it public or private tertiary institutions, they must have a full-on department of languages. And in that department of languages, there must be prominence for local languages. We can do that. So what I was saying before Bamidele called is, have we seen President Tinubu being a patron of education? We're working towards his semi-first, and I say semi because they had to send a supplementary budget, his semi-first budgets. We're going to see the position that the president places education within his own administration very soon. But what stands
yes,
out? You can give money here and there, you can do scholarship, but has he really been intentional about education? Not just when he's president, even all the time he hasn't been president. That's when you know that somebody is passionate about something. It's whether he's in front of it or behind it. No time. When people are not watching, when they're not there, it's still something that he's emphasizing, that he's advocating for. Is that what we've seen of President Tinubu when it comes to education?
Absolutely.
So naming a university after him, that's a very heavy thing. That's a legacy.
Yes,
but has that legacy been earned?
No.
When it comes to education, that's my concern.
I don't think it has been thought out completely because you're not looking at longevity of that. It's a huge project. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
So you're thinking of it now. Have you thought of the machinery to service it all through its existence? How long is going to... It's almost as if you create a
that's
federal
money.
perpetuity, and that's federal money. So for me, it's irrelevant, and you're doing it because you want to secure... Maybe there's some favors you're looking for. You want to secure favor from the presidency. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. These languages, nowadays, parents are getting private tutors to teach their children.
Even on Instagram.
People are doing that. So
why is there no bill to ensure that the government holds to the ASU agreements of 2009?
Thank you.
Why is there no bill? What's the updates on the repeal of the VAP Act? There's so many other bills in front of the National Assembly, in front of the House of Representatives, that deserve prominent places of conversation and discussion.
And this is why when these bills are passed, everybody will see it as just a distraction. That's why I understand why Catherine is angry at the first bill about, cartoons, because it feels as though you're just completely ignoring the problems that exist. And then you're trying to create a new bill to make it feel like, we still have our moral compass intact. So this one is
okay, so is this a moral compass impacting bill in the time that Nigerians are right now? Where's the morality and the ethics behind this bill? Please, we need to go to the last story.
I have no idea.
Anyways, guys, it's not over yet because another one is about to hit you.
The fat lady has not sung.
Another one is about to hit you. Now, in other news, the Poultry Association of Nigeria is warning the public that unless urgent steps are taken to support poultry farmers, then we should all be prepared that the price of eggs will increase to 10,000 naira per crate. I wish I was making this up. Now, the secretary of the association, Musa Hakim, said the federal government must, as a matter of fact, declare a state of emergency on egg production in the country. Look at where we've gotten to. He said, and I quote, "To the best of my knowledge, the last time we received any grains intervention from the government was 3 years ago. Any other, despite by the government to cushion the high price of food, are only read in the newspapers."
Wow. So they're saying that part of this increase is due to the rising cost, the removal of fuel subsidy, as well as indiscriminate price increases of feed by the millers. The secretary, as you said, Musa Hakim, also said that there's going to be a lot that Nigerians cannot afford to spend on the importation. How do we want to talk about importing eggs? Are we okay? So let me quote him before I get it wrong. Hakeem said, let me say this before the caller. Hakeem said the federal government must, as a matter of urgency, declare a state of emergency on egg production, given the serious decline in protein, saying that Nigerians cannot afford to depend on the importation of eggs. We have a caller on the line. All right, join the conversation. TD, I believe.
Yeah, TD.
All right,
Good
TD.
morning.
Okay, TD.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you. I just want you people to take this meeting to ask our president, my president, your president, that how many Nigerians now can go to school? With the cost of everything, how many Nigerians can afford to go to school? Secondly, he said we should learn foreign languages. When we go to learn all these foreign languages and know all these foreign languages, are we supposed to leave our own dear country to those foreign languages to look for jobs? Thirdly, I am seeing on the media and everywhere platform, they want to open a university in our president's name. Our president has laws and some things about his education. What is his education qualification for us to have a university in his name? We have Professor Sorewe and the rest that have made us proud. We didn't have any university for them. So what is so political or what is so important in having a university after our president? Please, most of these things makes our youth today, when they listen to all these black brass that are saying there, it is making us, in fact, uncomfortable to stay in this country. We should be able to talk to our president to look on the common things that common man can benefit, not things that the politician and the children will benefit from. Please, Jaziri, you people should take this message to our president and let him know how we feel. It is not about the school, to open a university in his name, to learn the foreign language. How many people can afford these things that they are saying? Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Chidi.
And I like the fact he ended with God bless Nigeria, even though we still need to put the work in. But when you talk about they're listening, because I heard that some of higher officials are wanting to talk to me.
That's what you see.
I actually saw I said I would. It's just because, you know, the time just goes before we come to sit on this table. I was actually going to say something to T about it. You know, what he's saying, he has a point. And when he was talking in my mind, I said, well, except they want to make the university free of charge. Except you want to make university free of charge, because he has a point. So we are talking about parents choosing which child to go to school nowadays. If any, because they cannot afford everything. Parents are paying half and half and half, and schools have been gracious enough to understand.
But they also have to pay their teachers.
But they also have to pay their teachers. But it's not as if they're insensitive. So everybody is adjusting and just trying to cut their coats according to their. And then you come in and say, this is what we need now. So look at the price of eggs. Guys, now we have to be loloxing our fowls.
Please wait, let me ask. When was the last time you bought eggs? How much did you buy?
5.8.
How much did you buy?
I think almost the same.
Okay, so I bought 5.8. But you know they're also size. Have you seen what you're buying for 5.8?
My sister, I like it's okay. It's way better.
We're going to where we're now selecting eggs. Which one is bigger? Yes. But then there's a point that he raised that I honestly agree with. Although I want to correct. So the bill is not advocating to learn foreign languages. No, it's advocating to you know, promote
the appreciation
our own
and the
culture.
of our languages.
But the point that he made about job opportunities, a lot of times when you ask younger people, right, this new generation, why can't you speak your language? One thing they will tell you is, what is he doing for me? Because most times it is going to the point where they'll tell you, oh, learn your language so that if they're talking about you in a bus, you can know. Is that what we want?
You understand? So why am language about what your language can do for you? No, but even to your identity.
Yes.
Staying involved, it's staying interlocked with your culture. But that's a fallacy or fallacical. I want to create a word, guys. It's a fallacy of thought. It's a fallacical thinking.
We're in an era where people are denying their nationality. You go out and they're like, are you Nigerian? Like, it depends. Why?
No, the DG said it, that he wants to get to a point where Nigerians are not denying being Nigerian.
No, when I travel and the gate that takes you to Lagos. No, that gate that takes you to Lagos. When you see our brothers and sisters, you know that they are your brothers and sisters. They don't used to hide. So when you go there and they ask you, are you Nigerian? Just because I want my calm, I say no. So I don't understand, because I want my camp, because you know we are very engaging. So how now? Where did you? So when you go, what are you doing when you? My brother, I just want peace and quiet. But that's one. On the other hand, our children, parents are doing everything possible that the children leave the country. And when the children leave the country, they forget their mother tongue. Because when you talk about the mother tongue, they say, but who do I have in the village anymore? My parents are late, and I don't really have any ties.
So aside even traveling, the reason I even raised that point was, imagine having a whole... There's a word I want to use, but I can't use it. A whole university dedicated to fostering culture and language and all. The people in normal universities are not even getting jobs yet. So what's the guarantee? What job will they give you when you graduate?
And language jobs are actually interesting, very specific type of jobs.
Yes. Exactly.
Not how many are going to go into the diplomatic circle.
The people
how
who
many
are
are going to become rapporteurs.
Exactly.
How many are going to become teachers.
Yes.
Why did you not learn Oguri?
Teacher.
You speak French. A lot of people, a lot of young people, I'm thinking of how to learn French, for crying out loud. There are people learning Korean language. Everybody is trying to learn other, and you're seeing that they have job opportunities. I know a lot of young Nigerians who have gotten opportunities because they learned a language.
Did you guys see the first K-pop Nigerian movie?
Oh my God.
It was... Guys, we have to go. But before we go, I must reiterate. Poultry farmers are warning the government that crates of eggs will go to 10,000 naira. Lola was here on Friday talking about a family, parents having to share one egg, kids having to share one egg. This is not a place you want to take Nigerians, because I told you guys, I personally feel that the protest that will shake all of us will not be planned, it will not be announced, but it will be televised.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, let's not forget that last statement said that some government initiatives are only read in the newspapers.
And don't make it to the farmers.
Don't make it to the farmers. We have to go, guys.
Enjoy your eggs while they last.
And Lola, your fowls.
I have like 7 left on. I told my people, nobody should touch those eggs. Everybody's eating them together. Bye-bye.